This movie theater has a weird set of rules, compiled by Lady NoSleep. Day 1. If you are listening to this recording, that means I am already dead. I doubt this will happen, but given the dangers associated with my profession, I will record an account of everything I encounter. My name is Sarah, and I am a private detective. In this small city, business for my profession is usually very slow. But recently, a surge of clients reached out for my help. It all has to do with the recent disappearances. You probably know what I am talking about. Nothing like this happened in our city's history ever before. I won't get into the details of my background investigations. You will find everything in the notes in my office. But I have pinned down a commonality among all the disappearances. A movie theater. They all planned to visit the same theater. Tomorrow, I will investigate. Day 2. It was stupidly difficult to find this inconspicuous, little rundown theater. Unlike any theater I have ever seen, the entrance had no signs or posters, and the main doors were on this tiny alleyway, far away from any major streets. I have no idea why anyone would visit this place. It looks so desolate. If I didn't find out from some of the residents nearby, I wouldn't even think this unassuming building had a cinema. Upon entering the building, I was surprised by the interior. The lobby is spacious and clean, unlike the exterior. It has the cinema vibe, with the red carpets and retro cinema lights, but it strangely still does not have any movie posters or signs. In the center of the lobby, there is an A4 paper with the title, Guidelines and Notices for Moviegoers. The specific contents are as follows. 1. This cinema is open 24 hours a day, year-round. We are always ready to welcome you. 2. We can screen any movie you want to watch. Just tell the ticket seller the name of the movie, but please don't say the wrong name or make up a fake movie title, as the consequences are your own responsibility. 3. If you can't decide which movie to watch, there is a comprehensive movie catalog next to the ticket counter, complete with brief descriptions of each film. You can choose from it. We regularly update it with the latest movies from around the world, but we recommend that you avoid selecting movies you've never heard of, or those with strange names and descriptions, as the consequences are your own responsibility. 4. The cinema has a total of 16 screening rooms, numbered from A1 to A16. However, under no circumstances should you enter screening room A16. If you hear cries for help from inside, please ignore them. It's just part of the movie. 5. Each screening room requires a minimum of 2 patrons to start screening a movie. If you insist on watching a movie alone, the consequences are your own responsibility. 6. Please silence all communication devices before the movie begins. 7. During the movie, please refrain from making loud noises. 8. Do not touch the screen. 9. Do not complain about the movie's quality in any form within the screening room. 10. Once the movie starts, you cannot leave the screening room. Restrooms are located on the left side of the seating rows. You may use them for biological needs, but please do not linger unnecessarily. 11. If you violate rules 6 through 10, close your eyes, cover your ears, and remain in that position until the movie ends and the lights are turned on in the screening room. Then, please leave the cinema as soon as possible and refrain from watching any movies for the next 3 months, and do not return to this cinema. 12. If you see someone violating rules 6 through 10, distance yourself from them and do not look at them. Continue to focus on watching the movie. 13. If you encounter any scenes in the movie that are blatantly illogical, or if characters suddenly die in bizarre ways, lift the cover at the end of your seat's armrest and press the red button inside. Staff will come immediately to investigate. If there is indeed an issue with the movie, it may be due to film damage caused by humidity, which is quite reasonable in these old cinemas in the southern region. The movie will be immediately stopped, and you should follow the staff to leave the screening room. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience. 14. If you see characters in the movie attempting to seek help from you, ignore them and continue watching. However, after the movie finishes, please stay in the screening room for at least 3 hours before leaving. During this time, no one will enter. We genuinely and earnestly hope you remember that this is just a cinema, and what you are watching is just a movie. 15. Regardless of your viewing experience, after the movie ends, please applaud for at least 10 seconds before leaving the screening room. If you fail to do so, please leave the cinema as soon as possible and do not return. 16. If you intend to leave the cinema, make sure you have watched at least 15 minutes of the movie inside the screening room. 17. We hope you will have the most unique movie watching experience in this cinema. 18. Do not doubt, do not inquire. This is just an ordinary cinema. Yup, the disappearances definitely had something to do with this theater. Do not doubt or inquire. This is just an ordinary cinema. Characters seeking help. What normal cinema would state something like that? And why is A16 off limits? I am determined to find out. With an uneasy heart, I approached the ticket booth, where I expected to find the nearest employee. "Hello," I said into the tiny hole on the glass panel. There was no reply, but I could see a human figure inside the ticket booth. The tainted glass made it hard to see any features. I would like to see a movie," I said. "Name of the movie?" A voice erupted from the speaker. I wanted to buy some time to ask questions, and I saw a huge book sitting on the booth. The movie catalog. Flipping through the pages, what I saw surprised me. There were movies from every language and every era. Some films with titles in a language I don't think I have ever encountered. So, I said, trying to make small talk. When did this theater open? No response. Do many people come here after seeing those rules? I asked, with a hint of humor. Still no response. So, you aren't the talkative type, I see. Is there a movie you would suggest? Anything popular? Are there other employees or customers I can talk to? Finally, the employee reacted. Would you like to wear our employee's uniform and join our staff? The voice from the speaker asked. Confused, I paused for a second before replying sure. It was such a strange question, but it would definitely help my investigation if I become an employee. I was quickly led into the employee lounge by a security guard who would not answer any of my questions and was handed an employee's manual and uniform. The specific contents of the manual are as follows. 1. Regardless of what movie the customer wants to watch, ticket sellers should simply hand them a blank movie ticket without asking questions. 2. If a customer wishes to watch a movie alone in the screening room, do not obstruct them, and you should try to avoid having too many people simultaneously watching a movie in the same screening room. 3. When a customer violates any of the guidelines, but still wants to remain in the cinema, do not obstruct them. 4. Block any customer attempting to enter screening room. A16 if necessary. The use of force is permitted. 5. If you see someone exiting screening room A16, immediately notify security for handling. Regardless of whether they resemble any familiar colleagues, you should be aware that no one can exit screening room A16. 6. If a customer presses the red button during the movie, you should immediately investigate the situation. It can be broken down as follows. 7. 1. If you find that the door to the screening room cannot be pushed open, do not attempt to enter. Seal the screening room for 24 hours after the movie ends. During this period, be extra cautious and do not allow anyone to enter within a 5-meter radius of screening room A16. 2. If the door to the screening room can be pushed open, enter to inspect the movie content and inquire with the customers about what they saw. If 4 or more individuals report witnessing the same bizarre scenario, immediately halt the movie playback and guide them out of the screening room. Be especially vigilant not to let customers who have witnessed unusual events near screening room 16 within a 5-meter radius. 3. If violations of the first 2 points occur, immediately notify security for handling. Then promptly evacuate all customers from the cinema, regardless of whether they have watched the movie. 8. If a customer claims to have seen movie characters seeking help, do not allow them to leave the screening room. After the movie ends, evacuate the other customers from the screening room and lock the door. If cries for help are heard during this time, please ignore them. No sane person can see movie characters seeking help during a film. 9. Do not let customers see the content of this manual. 10. Do not let customers know too much. If you discover that a customer has learned something they shouldn't know or are asking too many questions, inquire if they are willing to change into staff uniforms. If they refuse, immediately subdue the customer and notify security for handling. Be especially cautious not to allow the customer into any screening room. 11. You should always love movies and remain loyal to this establishment. We pledge to protect every qualified staff member. Therefore, we hope you will protect this cinema when it matters most. There is something seriously wrong with this cinema. Every rule I read sent chills further down my spine. Could there actually be something sinister going on? They allowed me to become an employee based on a random rule? No. There is definitely a culprit behind all this, and I will find out. Determined to get to the bottom of this, I went to the washroom to freshen up. On my way to the bathroom, I could hear many screams coming from one of the screening rooms. Probably a horror movie, I thought. I quickly made my way to the washroom and walked to the sink. I suddenly saw something from the corner of my eyes. Kneeling down, I found a notebook under the sink. The specific contents are as follows. Page 1. 1. Stay away from everyone. Trust no one. Watching movies with too many people will make your situation very dangerous. 2. You must follow the instructions posted in the lobby. This line is later crossed out. A messy comment wrote, "What's written there is a lie." Another comment wrote, "But do not doubt. Do not inquire." Neat handwriting. 3. No matter what, do not doubt. Do not inquire. The less you know, the safer you are. 4. Do not press the red button. Messy handwriting, almost illegible, repeated on the following half page. Staff are good, bad, good, bad. Flip to the next page. Neat handwriting. I've been hiding here for a long time, since that leading actress was suddenly killed by the fan, and the whole screening room started to get weird. I pressed the red button, but no staff came, and the door was locked and wouldn't budge no matter how hard I pushed. I don't know what to do. We're all so scared. Too scared. The movie was still playing at that time, but the plot got weirder, and more people kept dying inside. It couldn't be special effects. It definitely wasn't special effects. Those spasms, even thinking about it, makes me want to vomit. The people I watched the movie with started crying and screaming, But then they suddenly disappeared into the darkness. They were right behind me, but in an instant, they were gone. I was too scared to scream. Maybe it's because they violated the rules in those instructions, so they were punished. I know I shouldn't stay in the restroom for too long. The instructions say so, but I couldn't take it anymore. I really can't stand going back to that darkness where I don't know if anyone has died. I can still hear the movie playing outside. Someone is crying and screaming. The sounds are shrill, and I can recognize. No, I can't say for sure if it's the same woman who disappeared. It's too strange, too strange. A few lines later. The restroom should be safe. Nothing strange has happened here in these days, but I can still hear the movie playing. Sometimes it's characters speaking their lines normally, but sometimes it's cries, screams, things in a language I don't understand, and eerie music. I'm so scared. Luckily, I packed some food in my backpack, but it won't last much longer. Maybe in another day or two, I'll have to go out and return to that cinema. I remember some things. I regret not taking a picture of those instructions. I remember it told me to close my eyes and cover my ears after breaking the rules until the movie ends. But I don't know. I don't know if that movie will ever end. I've been listening to it for these days, but I have no choice. Many pages later, the handwriting is extremely messy and unreadable, resembling scribbles, and there are various stains, including bloodstains. I escaped back. I don't know. I heard. I closed my eyes and covered my ears, but it didn't stop for a long time. I'm hungry. I pressed the red button again, and someone touched me. I opened my eyes. It was a security guard, looking. The security guard's clothes were very blue. I escaped back. They are not like us. They have eyes. They have noses. The restroom mirror reflects me, and I don't know. They didn't enter the restroom. It's safe here. I'm going out again. Food. So hungry. The following words are unreadable. After reading the notebook, I was dumbstruck for what seemed like an eternity. If the contents in the notebook were true, there is something inexplicable happening. It's impossible to just disappear from a theater, right? And movies are just movies. How can lines and scenes change? Nothing made sense. And the ending? What happened? Did the author go insane, writing all that gibberish? Just as I was doubting, I heard a loud crash coming from the nearest screening room, followed by terrible screams. Please help! Someone screamed from the room. The screams and cries were followed by loud, desperate thumps on the door, as if someone was throwing their entire weight at the door. I tried to force the door open, but it would not budge, and before I could do anything else, all noise vanished. Not a single scream. Not a single thump. It all instantly ceased, like it never existed. Now I understood. That is no horror movie. It is real. The story, the notes, they are all real. Was there something in all the rules that could explain what's going on? Thankfully, I had my audio recordings. After listening to all the rules I have encountered a countless times, I made my conclusion. Many of the rules are conflicting. Someone or something is definitely lying. Screening room A16 holds a terrible secret. A secret that might explain everything that is happening. As I made my way to room A16, I saw a small sticky note hidden underneath the trash can closest to A16. In the note, a few small sentences were written. 1. Do not cease your suspicions. Do not stop thinking, but feign ignorance until you fully comprehended it. 2. Strive to be in the company of more people. 3. Do not fear, especially while watching movies, for the things you fear may become a reality. 4. Staff members are merely human. 5. In most cases, the central notice in the lobby is reliable. Do not violate it. 6. I can only write up to this point. I cannot continue. If you wish to know more, you must go to screening room A16 without alerting the staff. Otherwise, you will face. The sentence abruptly ends, leaving only some smeared ink marks. This note confirmed my suspicions. I am beginning to understand how this theater works, how it works. The theater is lying. I quickly made my way to room A16, making sure to stay clear of others. As I snuck into the room, I was surprised to discover that screening room A16 is not a screening room at all, but rather resembles an office. It appears to have been vacant for a long time, with thick layers of dust. On the desk, I see a family photo of a middle-aged man, a middle-aged woman, a little girl, and a small orange cat. The white frame, once beautiful, is now dirty with dust. There is a piece of paper on the desk. The specific contents are as follows. 1. This place is safe because there are no them here. Remember that all screening rooms are very dangerous. 2. When you entered here, they already knew about you. After you leave this place, do not let the staff see you. If you want to continue living, leave the cinema as soon as possible. Never come back. And do not watch any movies for the next 3 months, because they will do everything in their power to kill you. 3. I wish I could explain everything to you, but they can interfere with text, images, and music to some extent, just as they altered the instructions in the lobby to add a lot of unnecessary things. Writing it down would actually put your life in danger. But I can give you some hints. You must figure out what is most wrong in this cinema and what that really is. You can also think about those instructions in the lobby. There is definitely something strange in them. 4. Once you understand what they are, you will have the ability to influence them. 5. Everyone who has disappeared in the cinema is already dead. If you see those people, please remember that they are already dead. 6. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but if you really want to change everything, if you want to destroy this cinema, you can look for a blue-covered diary here. But I hope you remember that after reading that diary, you have only one way to go. A dead end. 7. I used to be the owner of this cinema, but I am powerless now. I'm sorry. After reading the note, I quickly found the blue diary. But now, with the diary in my hand, I am not sure if I should open it. I am not sure I can handle the consequences of knowing. But somehow, the diary is drawing me in. It is hard to contain the urge to flip through the pages. I am trying my best to fight it. But if you are listening to this recording, I am already dead. Did you figure out what is going on in the theater? Let me know your theories in the comments below.